Dr. DevCode sets up a war room. This is a common occurrence within IT, following major disruptions to operations, development hiccups, detection of critical software bugs, or other unplanned situations, including outages. In this case, however, we will see that this problem is about how to get better at embracing new people, process, and technology methods.
I am glad we are all here. Michelle, let me introduce you to my team. My lead developer's name is Pete, and my operations manager is Tom. I briefed them on our earlier discussions, and they are both here to help us try to solve the issue of creating and building applications faster and better.
Thanks, Dr. DevCode. So the question is, how do we create the best applications for both our external and internal users?
Well, there's only one way to solve this problem. Create and push applications to production as quickly as possible. Cram every feature we can think of into each and every release. In terms of testing and debugging at the unit or system level, that's not my problem. That's for the operations guy to figure out.
There you go again, Pete. Always agile, quick, and a risk taker, while I have to keep operations running and reliable. You are dangerous.
I'm not dangerous, Tom. You're just too afraid to try anything new.
Gentlemen, please, stop this fighting. After all, this is the war room.
Michelle and Dr. DevCode now give Pete and Tom a chance to explain their own individual points of view and challenges in more detail. First, Pete, the developer, explains it's all about the software development lifecycle. It's the need for speed. The first problem is time to production. It can take weeks to get code into production. This delays the deployment of features, bug fixes, and other enhancements. In addition, this delay also makes it difficult to juggle the management of old code and pending code mapped to new products and features. Then, when Pete's team finally gets code out to production, they often have dependency errors. This is usually caused by the work and associated changes being done in a development environment which is not replicated easily. As a result, the development code is often different than that of the production environment. Next, it's Tom, the operation manager's turn. Tom has challenges in many areas, and the first is maintaining continuous availability within the production environment. One of operations' major goals is to strive for 5 nines of availability. Plus, the number of servers, networks, and storage capacity is constantly growing, and it's very difficult to keep up. Also, being able to scale based on ever-increasing workloads is always a challenge. In addition, the tools he has to manage this growth has become less effective. Monitoring the performance that the customers actually experience is also very difficult. Then, when Tom gets new code from the developers, they are usually modifications that manually need to be made in order to achieve an effective deployment. As a result, a production deployment is usually scheduled weeks or months after a code release. Then, once the code is deployed, Tom and his team are solely responsible to diagnose any errors and fix it. He often feels that Pete is, to coin a phrase, dropping a bomb over the development/ops wall, leaving Tom's team to deal with the mess. Let's try and rephrase what both Pete and Tom had discussed. Operations is responsible for the availability of the application software in production, and its success is often measured with metrics that calculate server uptimes, server availabilities, security, capacity, and response times. These metrics are commonly defined as quality requirements that are assigned as a service level agreement, also known as a SLA. As a result, operations' goal is to manage the user's expectations that all of the software features will be fully available all the time. If the software isn't available in production, this absence can be detected by monitoring systems, or even worse, by the users themselves. The operations team is then directly blamed for the downtime. This mixture of responsibility and direct perceptions from external users leaves operations to focus on maintaining a stable production environment and its software. Every change to the production environment is risky and a potential cause of disruption. For the developer, The main task of the development team is to fulfill the customer's requirements, test the solution, and provide software updates in quick succession. New features that have been implemented and tested by the developers add potential value for the customer. So, on one hand, the development team wants change. On the other hand, the operations team is mainly interested in reliable and stable software. Every change forward by the development team can endanger the existing reliability and stability. As we begin to fully embrace DevOps, the need arises to break down the traditional IT management model of structured silos around software developers, system administrators, network engineers, and security personnel. This previous top-down management style does not nurture the synergy needed for cross-pollination and non-secrecy to exist between teams. A more open and flat model within formalized teams better achieves this DevOps end goal.